Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Happy Boxing Day. Happy Country Sunday.
I saw a Rastaman taking ganja. I saw you Rastaman taking ganja.
Una welcome today for all Ambazonians at home and abroad. Today na number 26 day for December, the day after Christmas. Boxing Day we done for Country Sunday. That means for Monday 2022. We're there for the last week of this year and a Boxing Day. Una welcome to our daily podcast, a program where we bring una meaningful information, we speak the truth, we bring fact-based analysis for help we as we work out for this journey to our freedom, the independence of Ambazonia. Na me, una host, Capo Daniel. I am the Deputy Defense Chief of the Ambazonian Defense Forces and the spokesperson of the Ambazonian Governing Council, aka Sense Pass King, una own countryman, Ambazonian FBI. The background song na Chameleon 7 Colors for the great state of Boyo. Good people of Ambazonia, today we want start this episode we call na Boxing Day. Boxing Day na day where we wake up, where people they don't chop, the one the way they be chop then drink, the one the way they be done chop broke pot, the one the way they be done drink me but they no fit pay bill, the one the way they don't wake up for wrong bed. Anyhow we day, today na Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, and would want to salute all Ambazonian, those who then celebrate Christmas for the trenches of war, those in IDP camps, those in the dungeons of La Republique to Cameroon, those in foreign countries who have all become victims of this Cameroon subjugation war against the Ambazonian people. Agree to na all. Today, we will talk about Grinch. Grinch na some white man character, the person wey be spoil Christmas, the one way he can thief Christmas gift them, he make them a Christmas chakara. White man they call that character say Grim. For Ambazonia, we also get people the way they don't spoil Christmas. But before we go for those individuals, we not only picking them for the land, Ambazonians, we go on for first talk about the Christmas presents we La Republique idam bring up for we Ambazonia. President Paul Biya of the Republic of Cameroon, the chief terrorist and genocidaire, the oldest president in the world, diapers wearing president, a Christmas grief for Ambazonia na for remind we of the true nature and the conduct of La Republique to Cameroon occupation, which is scorched earth policy, the burning down of entire villages. The third village during this Christmas period within 1 week have been burned, and this time na a village in Oku after frustrated La Republique to Cameroon terrorist military way for over 1 month have been struggling to identify and target our top ADF commander in Oku, General Bushrambo, King of the Forest, the armored car killer. After this frustration, the retreating La Republique to Cameroon, they then turned for the village of Oku, burning down over 49 houses in the village of Oku. Video footages will then come up. I will play and we're gonna hear the audio from the video from that burning.
I see what way it will happen for Bamenda place. Now houses then is really happy and destroy all and put them all for down. All houses then so them put them all so for down. No house no remain. So now about we take 54 houses then on Bona. 54. Then we 13 by them. 13.
So La Republique then burn 54 houses for Oko for Christmas Day and 13 bikes. Make una imagine how small community them for villages that they always day where they stay for corner market or for corner junction. 34 of that house made up over 90% of house structure them for that village for Insa Oko, where they carry out the arson attack, Cameroon terrorist attack. 13 bikes represent almost 90% of all bikes where that community and the community where they come from outside, they rely on for transportation. Imagine being in the foot of each of those families, where Paul Biya and Cameroon and the terrorist military did not send them for chop Christmas for bush, running mother, children, old and young, blinds and senior citizens, running into the forest, fleeing away from an occupation forces that knows no child and civilian in Ambazonia. This is terrorism, burning down of livelihood. Most of those bike people, those bikes are the only source of income, some of which have borrowed loans to buy those bikes. They use them not just for income, but to serve their community. It is the only means of transport to remove those who are sick to the hospital. It is the only means of transport to remove people out of Oko who are visited from the cities or even from abroad. This is terrorism. This is collective punishment that gives a death blow to our population. An entire village in Oko have been burned down by the Cameroon government. These have joined the list of more than 490 villages that have been burned in Ambazonia by La Republic to Cameroon. This type of act of terrorism, they call them scorched-earth policy. Now a tactic of war where a military, they strategically burn down villages for cut up supplies, bridges, or even provision store, shelter, where they aid any army for any place. Now a war crime, one of the worst of war crimes, and one of the early crime where the war be written for book for 1977 for the Geneva Convention as war crime. It then become the whole mark and modus operandi of Cameroon government towards Ambazonia. This one have show our people the value we Paul Biya get them for we and the Cameroon get them for our people. They never value our life. The whole that villages will be abandoned. Everybody turn their eyes to move on, hoping that they will kill us out of existence. Ambazonia must recognize this after the burning of the village in Bui in Yer and the burning of Bai Panya by the same Cameroon terrorist occupation military. The Atangi Paws, the Diongotes, all the so-called elites, the so-called chiefs in that those the house of thieves. They cannot claim they don't know this. They know exactly these subjugation tactics being used on our people. They know exactly that this is not a war against armed men. This is a war against a people who aspire to be free, who dare to speak, even though they have been considered as a captured people for a long time. From this, we move to the Grinch, those who steal the gift of Christmas, who rubs in the eyes of Ambazonians with salt and press our wounds with their fingers. This is no other person but Frundi, John Frundi, the sell-out Ambazonians who have become an insult to his own people. John Frundi was once seen as a hope for Ambazonians. Today have been banned from Ambazonia. He came back in the cover of the night, full of Cameroon terrorist military, to stage a childlike parade to greet him, singing the old song, Papa, welcome, O Papa Ele, Yaya Yo. This time it wasn't in glory, as we have always known John Frundi. This time a small crowd that looks like his neighborhood or people from a small church was waiting to greet Ni John Frundi. It was a shame to see Ni John Frundi, he has no knee anymore, to come back being protected by Cameroon terrorists to come and stage propaganda in front of his house. The last time I spoke to Ni John Frundi was when I informed him that if he was to carry that his Pan-Cameroon SDF convention and host it in Bamenda, we will ban him from his house in Tarinkun. And that was in force. Frundi have never stayed in that house anymore. He comes there with the presence of Cameroon occupation forces. They are now staying in that house. He cannot live amongst his people because he has been rejected by his people and the youth of Bamenda. Today, I am telling Ni John Frundi that as he is in exile, coming back into our town repeatedly, provocatively, hiding behind the same enemies that have been burning down our villages and killing our people. Even if Ni John Fundi, he dies today, if his corpse dare to be buried in Ambazonia land, I, Capo Daniel, I will supervise the digging up of that grave. His body who meant to pay the price of the Ambazonian forces. He specifically gave the names to be targeted, the ADF forces that he accused of attacking his property. His bones will be removed from his corpse, and he will be given the honor of a thief, somebody who have sold the hopes of millions of Ambazonians. We in the ADF, we will never ever forgive Ni John Fundi. He is an enabler, he is a traitor, and we will put him in his right place, a place of shame. And those like him, they should know that we will never forget. Even if you take out all ADF leaders today and our soldiers, their name will remain in that black book of traitors who have sold their conscience and worked for the enemy to undermine the very people that they were supposed to save and people who have made them who they are today. So Fundi, after that propaganda video he made and recorded in front of his house, having been brought to Yaoundé to take full advantage to visit the palace of Mankon, which he has not yet done so because the palace will not welcome him and he does not even feel safe there. He went further to sleep in Upstation, a house that has been fortified by the enemies of our people. Ni John Fundi today works with the enemies of Ambazonia. That has been noted, and that will be in the record as one of a shame he has brought upon his people. Still in the Savannah state, in Boom district, in the great state of Boyo, La République du Cameroon mercenaries, they hired Fulani men, Bororo people that they used to hire from Kanu. Former Boko Haram fighters have arrived, and they announced their arriving in Boom with the killing of an individual, a father of two who was returning back from the farm. He was shot and killed by the Mororo militias of Ngala Gerard. They killed him in a quarter that is called Bonanjo in Boom. That is a resettlement camp for survivors of Legnios. His dead body was removed and buried by his family. These unprovocative actions should never go without a response, and indeed a response will be coming their way. Ambazonia will respond fire to fire. We will match them method by method. We will never stop resisting until the last Cameroon military is kicked out of our territory and the last enablers is put back in the body bags where they belong. Fellow Ambazonians, today we have also had, over the week, tremendous love and interest from our Meta people who have called to congratulate the Ambazonian Governing Council for deploying and setting up defense positions in Meta land with the arrival of General Cinnamon to take control and install defenses in Meta land. This news have really been welcome, and we have just received tremendous support from the community of the Meta people, both abroad and back at home. They have been complaining. You remember the forces that were there have been dispersed with no leadership, being confused left and right. Most of those soldiers were even carrying ADF guns that were seized during the time of Nambere with commando who attacked General Efang. ADF weapons were seized and brought there so that it would be impossible for us to retrieve those weapons. Those weapons were now being used to bring trouble within those communities. There were a lot of dead, and we are very happy that the rules have been set. Anybody who carry guns in Ambazonia should live by this code that upholds the right of our people and bring honor, not disgrace, to our people. So we continue to support General Cinnamon, and we ask all Meta people to specifically reach out to our OGC, Mama Wali, to see how they can channel direct support to make sure that the work that have started in Meta will last longer and will see Ambazonia through, and the spirit of nationalism triumph over the spirit of tribalism. In also this Christmas, our anti-kidnapping squad have not been sleeping. In Bamenda, a thief that came into the Nkwen area there in the name of Ambazonian, using the name of Ambazonian, they broke into a house, making away with a bike and mobile phone of a Baba. Our forces were called, and the location where they were was identified. thanks to our civilians, and we quickly went into action and recover his property. A video is made, and I will play part of the excerpt for our citizens to know the great job their heroes on the ground are doing.
Because so many people, they go outside now, they use Amber name and they take things from people in the name of Amber. So boy, your name na waiting.
My name is Ngongjera.
Talk louder, you need.
My name is Ngongjera.
So wait to be happen.
I close for Wednesday night around 7 to 8. I go for house on 2 boy. Come on, gun for front door. So I off my light, I off the light. The first take me go for landlady because I knock door. My landlady if you open door. My landlady open door. Say the only say landlady on pink jangi. They are talk as landlady not open the door now. Landlady standing up, saying that then come on and take my bike, my phone. So I give my phone, my bike. I give phone and then carry it onto the bike. The direct play I give I go for tap. The moment put our down, so much lower down, I give them 700,000. Start crying, I beg, say I don't get that kind of money. So I have been a baba, I shave, I don't get that kind of money. And then if they talk turn for your friend, say, may they waste me, may they shoot me, kill them. As you want turn now, they talk for your friend, and we go then run now. 4 come over to my friend in house.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so now the things in this, we don't succeed for get back the things them. Although we know I get the people, but now God, now He get power. So now you will the handbag your things and for you and for tell I say next time I be more vigilant when anything they happen like such. Thank you.
So with that, we want to advise our population to make sure that you have blocked all unwanted or unknown number from reaching your phone. That way we cut the incidents of calling and harassment of our people for money purposes. We want to thank our unit in Bamenda, the Bamenda Brigade, for that wonderful job well done, and we'll continue to build our offensive as we move towards the end of this year. There are many things in store. We also want to pay tributes to one blood of 7 Kata, the soldier who was killed around Bangui. His body was displayed on the street, and we are still to get more clarity from the 7 Kata if we should release detail about this incident. From what we gather so far from our own ADF sources, a fighter of the 7 Kata have been adopted by La Republic Occupation Forces, and it is through him that one blood was killed, was identified. His house was struck down before he was killed before Christmas, about 3 a.m. at night. So our people should be alert. And this Christmas, we have lost just one top commander of the Ambazonian forces. The previous years, this is a period where we lost the brave heart and the most admired Ambazonian Defense Forces overall commander, General Mba Ivor, who have been a wonderful inspiration to our people as the ADF continue to be. Big things are on the way for Ambazonia, big things indeed, and things that are left to be spoken at the right time. But we ask our people to be confident in our leadership. The Ambazonian Governing Council have been the principled leadership of our struggle that have put principle beyond above our partisanship, and our people should just keep their ears open and pray. And like Dr. Chu Ayaba always says, buy more gun, and indeed we must buy more guns to prepare ourselves as we move into a new phase of our liberation struggle. God bless you all. Capo Daniel signing off.
No ganja, no more reggae, no ganja, no more reggae, no ganja, no more reggae, no ganja.